Tonight, as the world outside grows quiet, you've arrived at a place made for softness, curiosity, and calm. Welcome to the Gentle Physicist, a corner of the universe where every fact feels like a whisper, every question feels like a warm light, and every moment invites your mind to slow down. Before we begin, let me ask you something. Did you know that the smallest particles in your body once glowed inside ancient stars? That simple truth has soothed more hearts than you might imagine. And what you're about to hear tonight may change the way you see the universe forever. Picture yourself sinking into a deeper breath. Let the day fall away from your shoulders. Here, nothing rushes, nothing demands. Everything simply drifts, the way dust floats through a sunbeam. And as you settle in, I'll take you on a journey into the quiet world of atoms, dreams, and the soft science that guides your sleep. If you feel the calm beginning to rise in your chest, if your mind already feels a little lighter, gently press subscribe so you can return to this peaceful space anytime you need it. And if you're listening right now, leave a small moon in the comments to let me know you're here. Tonight, we'll wander through wonders hidden in plain sight, tiny secrets, soothing rhythms and stories so delicate they can only be told in a whisper. So get comfortable, breathe slowly, and let your thoughts loosen their grip. Your journey into quiet science begins now. Stay close, breathe softly, and let this gentle world unfold around you. With every passing moment, allow the tension to drift farther away, like leaves carried by a quiet stream. And as you listen, remember, you are safe, supported, and exactly where you need to be tonight. Imagine a world so small that even silence seems to have a shape. A world that has been with you since the moment you arrived on this earth. It rests beneath every breath, every heartbeat, every quiet moment when the night feels a little softer than usual. And as you settle here, listening gently, that hidden world begins to open like a tiny door in the dark. For a moment, everything feels still. Atoms drift through the air around you, moving with a calm so delicate it almost feels like breathing. They're not loud or sharp or complicated. They simply exist, floating the way dusk glows when morning light passes through a window. They settle on your skin, they rest in your lungs, and they hold the shapes of every familiar thing you've ever touched. And with each quiet moment, they become less of a mystery and more like companions. If this soft journey is already easing your mind, you can let your thoughts drift the way atoms do, lightly, effortlessly, without urgency. And somewhere in that softness, a gentle invitation forms, asking you to stay connected, to continue moving deeper into this quiet universe at your own pace. And for a moment, everything feels still. There is something inside every breath you've taken, a tiny secret woven into the air itself. It waits patiently, unnoticed, and yet it has been part of your story since the beginning. And as you drift closer to it, you may feel yourself sinking into a calmer rhythm, preparing to follow these tiny travelers wherever they lead next, into quieter and quieter places within the night. If you could shrink yourself small enough to drift between the quiet spaces of the world, you would see tiny wanderers moving gently through the air. They pass by one another without hurry, without noise, without leaving a trace behind. And as you watch them float, you begin to notice how their motion resembles the slow dance of dust in a soft sunbeam, suspended as if time itself has chosen to move a little slower tonight. For a moment, everything feels still. These atoms travel endlessly, guided by warmth, breath, and the subtle currents of the world around you. Some drift upward, some settle downward, and some simply hover in place as though listening for the next whisper of movement. Each carries its own small history, a quiet memory of where it has been and where it might drift next. And in their wandering, there is a gentleness that mirrors the quiet settling of your own thoughts. A soft question rises: where does an atom's journey truly begin? Perhaps it starts in the warmth of your breath, or in the hush of the night air resting around your skin. Or maybe its story began long before you, drifting through oceans, forests, and even distant skies. And for a moment, everything feels still. One small detail in their drifting hides, a secret most people never notice, a hint of the beautiful structure waiting inside each of these tiny travelers. As you follow their slow motion, you begin drifting with them, moving quietly toward the deeper layers of their hidden world, where even smaller wonders wait in soft, patient silence. What if something could move endlessly, yet feel perfectly still beneath your hand? In the quiet spaces of the world, atoms vibrate with a softness so subtle that their motion becomes invisible, blending into the calm shapes they form. A table, a pillow, the air itself, all of them built from countless tiny tremors that never stop, never rush, never demand to be seen. And for a moment, everything feels still. These vibrations ripple gently through every surface around you, creating the illusion of stillness that your eyes and hands trust without question. It's a peaceful contradiction, a world that never truly rests, yet offers you comfort the moment you touch it. And in that contradiction, something inside you loosens, a reminder that your mind too can keep moving quietly, even when your body is at rest. You begin to sense a familiar connection. The way thoughts drift at night, soft and unhurried, mirrors the tiny trembling of these particles. The body lies calm, but the inner world continues its gentle motion, weaving memories and sensations into something warm. And for a moment, everything feels still. One delicate truth lies hidden in this quiet motion, a structure more intricate than lace, holding everything in place while remaining softer than a sigh. As you listen, you drift a little deeper, sensing the presence of something waiting just beyond the surface, something steady, something serene, something quietly alive inside every atom. And slowly, you begin to move with it, drifting toward the silent center where their motion becomes meaning. At the heart of every atom lies a place so still, so impossible, that it feels like the universe holding its breath. If you drift quietly through the soft cloud of motion around it, you would find a tiny center resting in perfect calm. It doesn't glow or speak or move with urgency. It simply exists, steady and composed, like a small stone resting beneath a gentle stream. And for a moment, everything feels still. Protons and neutrons gather here, close enough to touch, forming a core that anchors the entire atom. They behave like sleeping giants, strong but peaceful, shaping the world without ever needing to stir. Around them, electrons drift in soft patterns, but the nucleus remains steady, a reminder that strength can be silent and calm at the same time. As you imagine this tiny center, you may feel something in yourself settle too. There is comfort in knowing that even in the smallest corners of existence, stillness has a home. And the more you sit with that image, the quieter the world around you begins to feel. You're following beautifully, just breathing, just listening, letting the calm gather inside you the way it gathers at the center of every atom. And for a moment, everything feels still. But this quiet center is only half the story. Beyond it, faint shapes drift in soft, uncertain motion, whispering secrets about the way atoms connect, move, and glow. The nucleus waits in its silence while a larger world begins to shimmer around it, inviting you to follow the next gentle step deeper into the unseen. Imagine tiny points of light drifting so softly around you that they feel more like whispers than motion. If you could watch them closely, you'd see electrons moving in gentle, cloud-like paths, never quite choosing a single place to rest. They shimmer in possibilities, appearing here, disappearing there, like thoughts drifting through a half-dreaming mind. And for a moment, everything feels still. These electrons do not orbit in sharp circles the way drawings suggest. Instead, they hover in delicate clouds, spreading their presence across space with quiet uncertainty. Their movement has no harsh edges. It is more like a lantern glowing behind soft fabric, its light diffusing into every direction. This uncertainty doesn't feel chaotic. It feels peaceful, as though the universe prefers softness over precision whenever it can. If this slow motion is beginning to soothe you, let it. Let the drifting shape of these electrons mirror the gentle drifting of your own thoughts. And as you imagine their glow, you might sense how their subtle movements shape everything you see. The colors around you, the warmth in the air, the calm rising softly in your chest. Somewhere inside this cloud of motion lies a secret, one that shapes every bond you've ever known, every connection that allows atoms to join hands and build the world. And for a moment, everything feels still. These drifting lights guide the way atoms touch, combine, and transform. Their gentle presence decides whether matter becomes soft or strong, warm or cool, familiar or new. And as you follow their motion, you are carried with them toward the next unfolding truth, drifting into the quiet space where bonds begin. Imagine the whole universe built from tiny hands reaching out in the dark, finding one another with the softest touch. When atoms come close, they do not collide or clash. Instead, they choose quiet connection, leaning toward each other the way two calm breaths slowly fall into the same rhythm. And for a moment, everything feels still. Some atoms share their gentle lights, letting their electrons drift between them like the glow of two lanterns merging. Others trade pieces of themselves, offering what they have in exchange for balance. None of this motion is rushed. It happens the way snow settles, the way mist blends into morning air, quietly, carefully, lovingly. These tiny bonds shape everything familiar to you. They make the softness of your pillow, the warmth of your blanket, the steady air resting in your room. Even your heartbeat depends on atoms choosing to hold hands in perfect harmony. And as you imagine these delicate connections forming in the dark, you may feel your own body relaxing into the same peaceful pattern. Somewhere within these quiet bonds lies a secret, one small choice made by each atom that decides the warmth you feel on your skin tonight, the weight of the world in your hands, the shape, the breath you're taking now, and for a moment, everything feels still. As these atoms continue holding one another gently, they guide you toward a deeper truth, that every structure begins with connection, and every calm moment begins with something choosing to stay close. And so you drift with them, moving softly toward the next layer of their world, where even the tiniest weight carries meaning. How heavy can something be if you can't even see it? It's a quiet question, the kind that settles gently into the back of your mind as you imagine a world too small for the eye to catch. Atoms may be tiny beyond comprehension, yet each one carries a soft weight, a presence that holds the shape of every familiar thing around you. And for a moment, everything feels still. Their weight comes not from their size, but from the quiet strength gathered at their center. Protons and neutrons rest close together, forming a core that anchors each atom with silent confidence. You may never feel the weight of a single atom, but you feel their combined presence everywhere, in the firmness of your mattress, the steadiness of the floor, the gentle pressure of the air resting against your skin. The way these small weights add up is comforting. It reminds you that strength does not need to shout. It can whisper and still be enough. And as you picture these tiny centers holding the world in place, something inside you steadies too. Somewhere within this soft weight lies a secret, a tiny adjustment in the balance of particles that decides whether an atom becomes light as breath or solid as stone. And for a moment, everything feels still. The more you follow these subtle differences, the more the world begins to feel grounded beneath you, held together by countless quiet anchors. And as you drift deeper into this thought, you feel yourself moving naturally toward the next gentle layer of this unseen world, where energy begins to glow. Picture a tiny spark so gentle, so delicate, that it glows without ever needing to flare. Inside every atom, moments like this unfold quietly. Electrons rest in soft layers of possibility, and sometimes, with the faintest encouragement, they rise to a higher place, carrying a breath of energy with them. It isn't sudden or loud. It feels more like a lantern being lifted a little higher into the night, and for a moment, everything feels still. When these electrons return to where they came from, they release that energy again, a tiny, shimmering sigh spreading into the world. These flickers are so small that you will never see them, yet they shape every color you've ever loved, every warmth you've ever felt, every soft glow that has ever filled a quiet room. They are the gentlest reminders that the universe hums with life, even in its smallest corners. Let your mind drift with one of these sparks for a moment. Imagine it rising softly, holding its breath at the top, then gliding back down in a slow exhale of light. The motion is simple, calming, the kind of rhythm your thoughts begin to follow naturally when the night grows deep. Each spark carries a message, a quiet signature of the atom that released it. Some messages warm you, some create color, some power the world around you, and for a moment, everything feels still. As you follow these faint glimmers, they guide you toward the next soft truth, where the glow inside everything begins to reveal itself more clearly, lighting the path deeper into the heart of the microscopic night. Some things shine even when their light is too soft for your eyes to see. Deep inside every atom, there is a quiet glow waiting to unfold, a gentle shimmer released through tiny motions that happen endlessly in the dark. If you could watch them closely, you would see these faint sparks rising and fading like fireflies drifting through a still summer night. And for a moment, everything feels still. Every warm lamp, every screen lighting your room, every flicker of a candle or star. All of them begin with these delicate bursts of energy inside atoms. When electrons fall back into lower states, they release a whisper of light so small and soft that billions of them are needed to illuminate even the smallest space. Yet each one carries the same calm intention: to glow, to warm, to reach outward quietly. Imagine holding one of these invisible glimmers in your hands. It would feel like the warmth of a memory or the afterglow of a deep breath that settles your chest. This glow exists in the firefly outside your window, in the lightning stretching across distant clouds, and even in the gentle pulse of your own body. If you're still drifting with me, just noticing the calm building around you, you might sense how every glow is connected, how the world brightens in tiny, soothing steps rather than sudden bursts. And for a moment, everything feels still. One glow you've seen 1,000 times hides a secret most people never learn: that all light begins in silence, in tiny spaces where atoms breathe out their energy softly. And as you feel that truth settle inside you, it guides you gently toward the next quiet descent. And now, as the world outside grows quiet, let yourself drift into the small and gentle night hidden inside everything. Imagine the air becoming softer, the room dimming a little more, and the tiny spaces between atoms stretching open like silent doorways. Every motion slows, every sound fades, and for a moment, everything feels still. The atoms you've been following, they're drifting, they're trembling, their soft glows, all begin to settle into a rhythm so calm that it feels almost like breathing. You might notice your own breath matching that rhythm, rising and falling with the same effortless ease. There is no rush here, no demand, only the quiet invitation to move deeper into this microscopic world where everything unfolds at the pace of rest. Let the previous images linger for a moment. The gentle travelers floating through space, the silent center anchoring each atom, the tiny lights drifting in soft clouds, the glimmers of energy settling like distant stars. Each one forms a thread, and together they weave a calm night around you. If this journey has brought even a small wave of stillness to your mind, imagine sharing that gentle feeling with someone else someday, passing the calm forward like a soft glow in the dark. And for a moment, everything feels still. Just ahead lies a new layer of this quiet universe, a place where energy becomes life, where atoms begin shaping the warmth inside you. As you drift toward it, let this final thought settle. The night is patient, and every tiny part of you is learning to rest with it. Imagine a tiny flame flickering inside you, glowing without heat, without smoke, without ever needing to be seen. This small fire lives in every cell of your body, burning softly through the day and settling into a gentler rhythm at night. It is not a flame that roars or rises. It is a steady presence, a quiet source of strength that moves with you through every breath you take. And for a moment, everything feels still. This fire is made from countless molecules working together in harmony, creating the soft energy that keeps your body alive. With every heartbeat, every slow blink, every drifting thought, a tiny spark of ATP releases just enough warmth to guide your cells through the night. It isn't loud or forceful. It feels more like holding a small lantern beneath your ribs, its glow spreading through you in waves of comfort. If this image is bringing even a hint of ease into your chest, let it settle there. Let the warmth deepen. Let the quiet fire spread slowly, the way calm spreads through a quiet room when the lights dim and the night begins to settle. One small spark inside you decides whether you feel tired or renewed, whether your body sinks into rest or rises with gentle strength. And for a moment, everything feels still. As this soft fire continues glowing within you, it guides you deeper into your inner world, where electrons begin whispering messages, carrying their quiet signals through the night, leading you gently into the next hidden truth inside your cells. If you listen closely enough, you might notice that even silence carries a message. Deep inside your body, tiny particles drift from place to place, delivering signals so quiet and delicate that you never feel them move. These are your electrons, the soft messengers guiding your heartbeat, your thoughts, your breath, and the calm you begin to feel settling around you now. And for a moment, everything feels still. Electrons slip through your cells like faint ripples passing across still water. They do not rush. They do not hesitate. They glide, responding gently to the needs of your body, shaping the rhythm of your mind with movements too small for you to ever see. Yet, without their whispering pathways, every function you depend on would fall silent. As you picture them drifting, imagine each electron carrying a tiny lantern of energy, lighting small corridors inside your cells. The brightness is soft, warm, and comforting, the kind of glow that helps you feel the night soften around you. Let your thoughts drift with that glow, letting it move gently through your chest, your arms, your quiet breathing. One shift in these little messengers can change everything you feel. A calm thought, a slow breath, a moment of stillness, all of them begin with electrons settling into place, choosing the quiet path instead of the restless one. And for a moment, everything feels still. As their drifting glow continues guiding you inward, they lead you toward the next secret hidden in your body's softness. The quiet miracle inside every drop of water flowing through you. Every sip you've ever taken carries a shape carved by tiny attractions, a quiet design woven into the heart of every water molecule. If you picture it closely, you might see two small hands reaching toward a third, creating a soft, bent form that guides the way water moves through the world. This simple angle is gentle, almost shy, yet it shapes oceans, clouds, rivers, and even the calm drifting through your mind right now. And for a moment, everything feels still. Water molecules hold one another with delicate bonds, touching lightly, letting go, then touching again. They behave like friends walking together in the dark, close enough to feel safe, loose enough to move freely. These tiny connections give water its soothing flow, its soft weight, its ability to cool your skin and calm your breath. Even now, there is water inside you shifting quietly, balancing the rhythm of your thoughts. As you imagine these molecules drifting and joining, notice how the image slows your own breathing. Each bond forms like a gentle nod, each release like a warm exhale, and somewhere in that movement, the world feels easier to carry. The reason water softens your mind begins with this one tiny angle, this quiet shape that every molecule holds deep within itself. And for a moment, everything feels still. You're following beautifully, simply letting the flow of these small connections guide your thoughts. And as the water inside you settles into its natural calm, it leads you toward the next quiet truth. The gentle exchange of atoms happening with every breath you take. Every breath you take, is a gentle conversation between you and the universe. With each inhale, millions of tiny atoms drift into your lungs, settling softly into the spaces that wait for them. They arrive without hurry, without pressure, simply gliding into place the way mist folds into morning air. And as you exhale, you return countless atoms back into the world, releasing pieces of yourself into the night around you. And for a moment, everything feels still. These atoms travel with you for only a blink before they move on, joining the wind, the trees, the quiet sky. Some have drifted through oceans. Some once glowed in stars. Some may have passed through distant forests long before you were born. In this quiet exchange, you become part of a story far older and softer than anything you can see. Let your breath fall into this rhythm, in, then out, steady, gentle, unforced. Imagine each inhale gathering cool, calm particles that settle your thoughts. Each exhale softens your chest, loosening whatever weight the day has left behind. One breath ago, the atoms inside you may have belonged to a wave in the sea, or a leaf resting under sunlight, or a creature wandering across ancient plains. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these drifting atoms pass through you, they carry a quiet message that you are never separate from the world, only moving with it. And as you follow this soft exchange deeper, it leads you toward the next steady shape in nature, the quiet backbone of life itself. There is one kind of atom that has held life together for billions of years, doing its work so quietly that most people never notice its presence. Carbon drifts through your body, shaping every structure that supports your breath, your thoughts, and the gentle rhythm of your night. It doesn't shine or move with drama. It simply offers its steady, patient strength to everything that needs it. And for a moment, everything feels still. Carbon is the quiet builder of the world. It reaches out in 4 soft directions, forming bonds that become the backbone of cells, the curves of your DNA, the warmth of sugars that fuel your body. With each connection it forms, carbon chooses stability over noise, harmony over chaos. The softness you feel settling in your body now carries its fingerprint. Imagine carbon atoms as tiny pillars, standing close together, holding the architecture of life with a calm confidence. They do not crumble easily. They do not drift away. They stay, offering the same support to a seedling, to a tree, to your beating heart. And in their steadiness, something in you steadies too. One small choice carbon makes, one angle, one bond, one gentle alignment, shapes every living thing you've ever known. And for a moment, everything feels still. If this image brings a sense of grounding to you, let it deepen. Let the quiet reliability of carbon settle beneath your thoughts like a soft foundation. And as you rest in that steadiness, you drift naturally toward the next subtle truth inside your body, the tiny mineral signals guiding every heartbeat you feel. Tiny charged dots drift through you every moment, guiding each quiet motion inside your body with the precision of a soft, invisible orchestra. These mineral ions move gently from place to place, carrying signals that help your muscles relax, your heartbeat settle, and your mind loosen its grip on the day. They travel without noise, without effort, almost as if they are floating through still water. And for a moment, everything feels still. Calcium ions rise and fall like soft taps that begin each heartbeat. Sodium and potassium trade places in a slow, rhythmic pulse, shaping every thought, every blink, every drifting memory of the night. Magnesium rests inside your muscles, calming them the way a warm hand eases tension from a tired shoulder. Each ion plays its quiet role, never asking for attention, never breaking the gentle balance your body depends on. Imagine these ions as tiny music notes moving through the air inside you. Some notes brighten, some soften, but all of them work together to create a calming melody that your body follows naturally. Let this imagined melody drift through your chest, your arms, your breath, smoothing everything it touches. One small shift in these quiet signals can decide whether your mind races or begins to rest, whether your thoughts scatter or settle into stillness. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these ions continue their gentle dance, they guide you toward deeper calm, leading you softly into the hidden chemistry of dreams, where the smallest motions inside your mind begin shaping the stories of the night. When the world outside finally fades and your eyes grow heavy, something delicate begins to unfold deep within you. Tiny molecules start shifting into place, preparing your mind for the quiet stories it will drift through tonight. Their motion is soft, almost like colors blending in slow water, shaping the landscapes of dreams long before you ever see them. And for a moment, everything feels still. Neurotransmitters move gently between resting neurons, releasing faint sparks that light up hidden corners of your sleeping mind. These sparks do not shout or rush. They glow, drifting like embers rising from a quiet fire. Some guide memories from the day into softer shapes, while others open doors to places your thoughts have never visited before. In this gentle chemistry, imagination becomes fluid. As you sink deeper into sleep, your brain waves begin to soften. They roll in smooth rhythms like waves forming on a silent shore. ATQA feeds each cell with slow-burning energy, just enough to support the dream without waking you. Water inside your brain settles into calm channels, carrying signals with the ease of drifting tides. One tiny chemical movement tonight may decide the direction of a dream. Whether you float through a familiar memory or wander into a new shapeless world where everything glows a little brighter, and for a moment, everything feels still. These hidden motions, these small flickers and shifts, are the quiet artists painting your inner night. And as you drift with them, they lead you gently toward an even deeper calm, where your body begins lowering its energy in preparation for true rest. As the sky darkens and the world around you begins to quiet, something just as gentle unfolds within you. Your atoms start to soften their rhythm, slowing the small fires that carried you through the day. The warmth inside you settles, drifting downward the way twilight settles across a quiet field. And for a moment, everything feels still. Your cells reduce the energy they burn, choosing ease over effort. Electrons glide more slowly, releasing only the calmest pulses through your body. Even your breath shifts without you noticing, lengthening slightly, deepening in quiet agreement with the night. Each subtle change is a small surrender, a soft step toward rest. Feel your body responding to this quiet shift. Muscles loosen, thoughts lose their sharp edges. The air moves differently around you, as if the world itself is exhaling beside you, and beneath it all, your energy folds into a gentler pattern, a slow tide pulling away from the shore of the day. One tiny drop in your inner energy decides the moment sleep begins. It's not dramatic. It feels like a faint dimming of lights in a room you've already grown comfortable in. And for a moment, everything feels still. Your heart beats with softer force. Your temperature lowers just enough to signal safety, and the chemistry of dreams starts preparing to rise. Each motion is quieter than the last, drawing you deeper into the night's gentle pull. As your energy continues melting into softness, it guides you naturally toward the next quiet space within you. The soft, electric night inside your brain where calm begins to gather like mist. Your brain glows at night, not with brightness, but with a soft electric drift that moves through you like distant waves rolling in the dark. As you settle deeper into rest, your neurons begin to whisper rather than speak, sending signals with a calm so gentle it feels like a tide slowly folding over itself. And for a moment, everything feels still. Electrical pulses that once flashed brightly during the day now smooth into long, drifting curves. These waves stretch out, becoming slower, wider, more peaceful. They ripple across the quiet landscape of your mind, carrying thoughts that feel less like sentences and more like shapes moving through a fog. Each pulse settles a little deeper, inviting you to follow. Inside this soft electric glow, chemicals begin to shift into patterns meant only for the night. Glutamate calms its pace, GABA spreads its quieting touch, and your neurons release the tension they carried while you were awake. Even memories become lighter, floating freely through these gentle waves without demanding attention. Imagine standing at the edge of a dark, calm ocean, watching smooth ripples form and fade. That is the rhythm moving through your brain now. Slow, steady, comforting. And for a moment, everything feels still. One gentle pulse drifting through your neurons tonight may shape the dreams waiting just beyond the edge of your awareness. It may open a doorway, soften a thought, or carry you into a quiet landscape made of memory and imagination. As this soft electric night continues unfolding within you, it leads you toward the final descent of this chapter. The harmony your entire body slips into when true rest begins. And now, as the night deepens and your breath settles into its quiet rhythm, your entire body begins to hum with a harmony so soft it barely feels real. Every system that worked through the day starts to fall into agreement. Your heartbeat, your breath, your thoughts, your cells, all moving toward the same peaceful stillness. And for a moment, everything feels still. The warmth inside you lowers just enough to soothe your muscles. The gentle electrical waves drifting through your brain lengthen into steady curves. Mineral ions continue their slow dance, guiding each heartbeat with a touch so delicate it feels like nothing at all. Even your breath becomes part of this harmony, drawing in cool calmness and releasing the remaining weight of the day. Within this quiet balance, your body remembers how to rest. It follows patterns older than memory, older than language, patterns written into your atoms long before you were born. Each part of you listens to the others, adjusting, softening, finding its place in the night's gentle symphony. If you pay attention, you might notice how every breath feels a little smoother now, how each exhale melts a bit deeper into stillness. This is your body choosing peace, choosing alignment, choosing ease, and for a moment, everything feels still. As this harmony settles fully within you, a doorway opens toward even deeper rest. Ahead lies a world woven from the smallest structures of life, a place where atoms themselves begin to whisper the secrets of sleep. And with your body now resting in perfect balance, you are ready to drift into that next quiet chapter, waiting patiently in the dark. Every atom in your body once felt the warmth of a star, glowing softly in a place far beyond the world you know now. Before it drifted into oceans, air, or the quiet chamber of your breath, it lived in the deep stillness of a distant sun, held in a cradle of light older than memory. And for a moment, everything feels still. Inside those early stars, hydrogen atoms pressed close together, not in violence, but in a slow, steady embrace that released gentle waves of light. The universe was young, and these tiny particles were learning how to glow, how to become the soft fire that would one day warm planets and shape life. Their story began in silence, in a vast darkness waiting patiently to be filled. Imagine those atoms resting inside a star, drifting through golden currents, not yet knowing they will one day become part of your heartbeat, your skin, your thoughts. Their journey is impossibly long, but beautifully quiet. A slow migration from the core of a star to the quiet spaces between galaxies. Then, eventually, softly, here. If this thought brings even a small wave of awe into your chest, let it settle. Let it expand the space around your breath, giving you the feeling of floating in something ancient and gentle. One quiet collision inside those early stars determined which elements would fill your body today. And for a moment, everything feels still. As those atoms drift outward, cooling and wandering through the endless dark, they guide you to the next wonder, how heavier elements are born in the final soft exhale of a dying star. When a star grows old, its light softens, and its inner warmth begins to fold inward like a tired breath. Deep inside, atoms that drifted freely for millions of years start pressing closer together, forming heavier elements in a process so patient, so steady, that it feels less like destruction and more like transformation. And for a moment, everything feels still. In its final quiet moments, a dying star becomes a silent workshop, shaping carbon, oxygen, calcium, and iron, the very materials that someday make bones strong, blood rich, and breath possible. These new elements are born not in chaos, but in a slow, shimmering release of energy, like petals opening in the dark. The universe builds its most complex pieces through softness. As the star reaches its last inhale, it releases these elements outward, scattering them gently across the quiet ocean of space. Imagine billions of glowing particles drifting away from their fading source, each carrying a small piece of possibility. They move with no urgency, simply gliding into the open, waiting for new worlds to find them. Pause for a moment and consider this: the iron in your blood, the oxygen in your lungs, the calcium in your bones. All of it was once held inside a star taking its final breath. And for a moment, everything feels still. One fading star carries the blueprint of everything you are, sending its quiet gifts into the cosmos long before you existed. And as those pieces drift outward, they guide you toward the next step in the journey, the soft powder of creation that forms between the stars. Across the vast dark of the galaxy, a fine dust drifts like powder carried on a sleeping wind. It is made of tiny pieces of stars, cooled and quieted over millions of years, floating slowly through the emptiness as if the universe is exhaling in the softest whisper. These grains are impossibly small, yet they hold within them the beginnings of planets, oceans, and even the atoms that rest in your breath tonight. And for a moment, everything feels still. This cosmic dust moves without direction, letting the gentle pull of gravity guide its path. Sometimes it drifts for ages without touching anything at all. Other times, it gathers in thin clouds, shimmering faintly like a fog of forgotten memories. Each particle is a silent traveler, carrying carbon, oxygen, and tiny traces of metals shaped long ago inside ancient stars. Imagine these grains floating past you, weightless, glowing softly in the faint starlight. They do not rush. They move the way your thoughts drift just before sleep, slowly, loosely, without boundaries. In their calm wandering, they begin to gather, forming threads and clusters that stretch across space in delicate patterns. In this drifting powder lies a secret ingredient, a quiet seed from which planets are born. These tiny particles will someday join, compress, warm, and finally shape worlds capable of holding life, breath, and gentle nights like this one. And for a moment, everything feels still. As you follow these peaceful travelers deeper into the darkness, they lead you towards something even more breathtaking. The immense, slow-breathing clouds where stars themselves begin again. If the universe had lungs, nebulae would be its slow, glowing breaths. These vast clouds stretch across space in colors too soft for the eye to fully hold, drifting and folding like mist, illuminated from within. They move so slowly that their motion becomes a kind of stillness, a quiet pause written across the fabric of the sky, and for a moment, everything feels still. Inside these clouds, tiny particles of dust and gas gather gently, pulled together by forces that work with patient attention. Hydrogen drifts toward hydrogen, carbon toward oxygen, forming clusters that glow with the faint promise of new stars. Nothing rushes here. Every motion is a slow inhale, a long exhale, a cosmic rhythm that has continued for billions of years. Imagine floating through one of these nebulae, the colors brushing past you like whispered shades of purple, blue, and gold. The air would feel soft if space had air at all. The silence would be thick and comforting, the kind that wraps around you the way a blanket settles over your shoulders on a cold night. One drifting cloud hides the birthplace of thousands of future suns, each one waiting quietly for the moment when gravity tightens its gentle hold. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these slow-breathing clouds continue their patient dance, they carry you deeper into the cosmic landscape, guiding you toward the next wonder. The quiet traces of oxygen resting between the stars, waiting for the moment they will someday become part of air, life, and breath. In the dark spaces between stars, tiny traces of oxygen drift with endless patience. They float freely through the quiet expanse, moving without sound, without direction, as if they are simply waiting for the right moment to belong somewhere again. These atoms shine faintly in the distant starlight, small reminders that even in emptiness, the universe keeps breathing. And for a moment, everything feels still. This oxygen has no hurry. It travels through vast stretches of darkness, touching nothing, yet carrying the potential to shape everything. One day, it might join with hydrogen to form water. Another day, it may rest inside a cloud of dust, waiting for a new world to form. Or it might drift for millions of years before finally becoming part of the air that fills a creature's lungs. Imagine these atoms floating around you now, cool and light, the way a soft breeze moves through an open window. Their presence is gentle, but their purpose is profound. Without these quiet wanderers, there would be no oceans, no breath, no life to whisper stories into the night. You're following this cosmic journey beautifully, letting the stillness inside these drifting atoms settle somewhere deep within you. Their calm becomes your calm. Their patience becomes the slow rhythm of your own breath. One oxygen atom out here could someday become the air you breathe, the water you drink, or the quiet spark inside a new star. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these wandering atoms continue their silent drift, they guide you toward another timeless truth, that every atom you touch has lived countless lives before finding its way to you. Every atom you touch has lived 1,000 lives before you. Long before it became part of your breath, your skin, or the quiet rhythm of your heartbeat, it drifted through oceans, forests, clouds, and even distant stars. Nothing in the universe is ever truly lost. It simply changes its place, reshaping itself into new stories again and again. And for a moment, everything feels still. Imagine an atom that once rested in the warm dust of a newborn planet. Over millions of years, it may have entered ancient seas, flowed through the veins of early creatures, risen into the sky as vapor, then fallen again as gentle rain. From there, it may have traveled through leaves, soil, or the soft breath of another life entirely. And now, in this quiet moment, it rests inside you. This endless recycling is not hurried. It is a slow dance across time, guided by nothing more than the gentle pull of nature and chance. Each atom moves from one form to the next with patient intention, never clinging, never resisting, always ready for its next chapter. Picture one of these ancient travelers settling into your breath now. It has seen the glow of stars, the shadows of forests, the color of oceans, and the silent cold of space. And for a moment, everything feels still. As you follow the journey of these drifting atoms, you begin to sense something comforting. You are part of a story much older than yourself, and the pieces that shape you have belonged to countless worlds before this one. Their quiet journey now leads toward the earliest echoes of creation, the ancient spark from which everything began. Long before stars learned to shine and galaxies learned to gather, the universe glowed with a soft, warm light that filled every corner of existence. It wasn't bright, it wasn't sharp. It was more like the quiet after a candle is blown out, a faint warmth drifting through endless darkness, holding the memory of creation itself. This ancient glow still surrounds you today, stretched thin and gentle across the sky, and for a moment, everything feels still. This light is the oldest whisper the universe has ever spoken. It carries the faint echo of a time when everything was closer, quieter, and softer than it is now. Imagine a warm fog made of light, spreading outward slowly, cooling gently as it traveled. It moved the way early breath moves through a newborn's lungs. Tentative, tender, completely new. Though billions of years have passed, the glow remains, dimmed and stretched, but still humming softly between every star. It's not something your eyes can see, yet your atoms have drifted through it since the beginning. The warmth you sometimes feel in moments of deep quiet may be older than memory, older than the world, older than anything you can imagine. Picture this glow wrapping around you now, like the faint warmth of a blanket pulled slowly over your shoulders. It doesn't demand your attention, it simply exists, steady and calm. And for a moment, everything feels still. As you drift with this ancient light, it leads you toward the next gentle chapter of the cosmic story. The tiny seeds of structure forming in the quiet darkness, preparing the universe for stars to be born again. In the earliest quiet of the universe, long before stars or planets or even dust existed, faint patterns began to form in the darkness. They were not sharp or bright or defined. They appeared like ripples on still water, gentle folds where tiny differences in density gathered softly together. These were the first outlines of everything the cosmos would one day become. And for a moment, everything feels still. These patterns grew slowly, shaped by nothing more than the gentle pull of gravity. A little more matter here, a little less there, drifting silently through the dark. Over millions of years, these faint variations deepened, forming subtle shapes that would later cradle galaxies and guide the drifting light of newborn stars. The universe was sketching itself, not with lines or colors, but with quiet intention. Imagine these early patterns like threads woven through emptiness, so delicate they could disappear with the slightest disturbance. Yet they remained, patient and steady. They created soft pathways for atoms to follow, gathering them in places where warmth would someday ignite, inviting light to finally return. If you close your eyes, you might sense these patterns moving through you as well. The idea that your own life is shaped by small, gentle forces that guide you without ever raising their voice. And for a moment, everything feels still. These early cosmic outlines became the scaffolding of the universe, a quiet map for all creation. And as you drift with these invisible threads, they lead you naturally toward the next soft revelation, the slow, graceful shaping of galaxies in the deepening night. From the faint threads woven in the early universe, something graceful began to take shape. Clouds of matter gathered slowly, folding inward in wide, sweeping motions like a dancer turning in slow motion beneath dim light. These drifting clouds tightened over millions of years, forming the first gentle spirals, the galaxies that would one day hold stars, planets, and even the atoms resting in your breath. And for a moment, everything feels still. A galaxy does not rush into existence. It forms the way mist curls into shape on a quiet morning, barely perceptible, yet full of intention. Gravity pulls softly at the drifting matter, guiding each particle into a curve, then a whirl, then a glowing arm stretching into the darkness. Slowly, quietly, the universe begins to turn. Imagine standing at the edge of one of these spirals, watching stars gather like tiny lanterns arranged along invisible paths. Their motion is steady, patient, almost meditative. They follow the curves carved by the galaxy's gentle rotation, each one finding its place in a pattern too vast to fully grasp. Inside this slow swirl, new suns begin to shine, sending soft light into the void. Between them, dark spaces remain untouched, preserving the quiet that existed before everything began. And for a moment, everything feels still. These spirals grow and age, drifting through the cosmos like enormous glowing snowflakes that never melt. And as you float with them in your mind, they guide you softly toward the next cosmic wonder, the quiet, unseen matter holding everything together. In every direction you look, even in the spaces where nothing seems to exist, an unseen presence holds the universe in place. It does not glow. It does not speak. It does not touch the world in any way your senses can detect. Yet without it, every galaxy would unravel, every star would drift freely into the dark, and the cosmic harmony you've been following would fall apart. This invisible presence is dark matter, the quiet weight that steadies everything, and for a moment, everything feels still. Dark matter moves without shape, spreading softly through space like a silent foundation beneath the visible world. It forms gentle halos around galaxies, holding their spirals together the way a soft hand holds a turning wheel. Its gravity, though hidden, guides stars into their orbits, supports the curves carved across the night sky, and creates the subtle balance that allows light to move freely. Imagine this unseen substance as a calm, dark ocean surrounding each galaxy, supporting it effortlessly. You cannot see the water, but you feel its embrace, a quiet assurance that nothing will drift too far from where it belongs. Let that image settle inside you, a reminder that even the invisible can offer strength. One small pull from dark matter shapes the paths of planets, moons, and stars, keeping the universe from dissolving back into chaos. And for a moment, everything feels still. As you drift with this hidden weight, you sense the universe holding itself together with the gentlest touch imaginable. And from this quiet cosmic embrace, you are carried naturally into the next chapter, where the building blocks of life begin to gather in the glow of newborn stars. Imagine holding something so small that it slips through your fingers without ever being felt. Yet somehow, it shapes everything you have ever touched. Every atom around you carries a quiet collection of secrets, drifting through the world with a softness that seems almost impossible. They move like tiny lanterns floating in slow water, each holding a memory older than the earth itself. And for a moment, everything feels still. Some atoms are mostly empty space, quiet rooms of possibility where faint pulses drift like thoughts passing through a half-dream. Many of the atoms in your body once glowed inside ancient stars, their journeys stretching across time before settling softly into you. Even now, atoms around you drift gently in the air, never truly still, their tiny vibrations forming the shapes you trust every day. A few atoms you breathe tonight were once part of oceans, mountains, forests, or creatures long vanished. Others hold delicate rhythms of their own, trembling in patterns so subtle they feel like whispers. And within every object you touch, a blanket, a pillow, the air resting in your room, countless atoms gather, held together only by the quiet insistence of their tiny bonds. If this calm journey already feels soothing, let it guide you deeper. Imagine these atoms pulsing softly like faint heartbeats scattered across the universe. And for a moment, everything feels still. Inside every one of them lies a story, where they've been, what they've shaped, and the quiet promise of what they may become next. As you drift with these secrets, they lead you gently toward the next layer of wonder, the silent world hidden inside a single drop of water. Imagine holding a single drop of water on your fingertip, so small it trembles with your breath. Inside that drop, tiny shapes drift in gentle alignment, forming the quiet structure of a water molecule. It bends softly like a head tilted in curiosity, creating the calm surface tension that lets dew cling to grass and raindrops gather on windows. And for a moment, everything feels still. Hydrogen and oxygen meet here with a delicate angle that changes the entire world. Because of this tiny bend, water can cradle warmth, dissolve minerals, soothe your skin, and shape clouds that wander across the sky. These molecules reach toward one another with light touches, forming and breaking bonds in a slow, rhythmic dance. A molecular handshake that makes rivers flow and oceans breathe. Inside you, these same molecules drift through your bloodstream, cooling what feels warm, balancing what feels heavy, and carrying quiet signals between cells. Their movement is patient, steady, almost motherly. Even in your brain, water stabilizes thought, cushioning each electrical whisper so it can drift calmly from one place to another. A drop of water expands when it freezes, becoming lighter, allowing ice to float softly on lakes like pale blue feathers. Steam rises because water molecules separate gently, releasing themselves back into the air. Rain falls because they gather again, holding hands in heavier clusters. One tiny change in water's angle creates the softness of snow, the clarity of rivers, the taste of breath. And for a moment, everything feels still. As you follow these drifting molecules, they guide you toward the next quiet secret, the invisible exchange waiting inside every breath you take. Each time you inhale, a quiet universe enters you. A single breath carries more atoms than there are grains of sand on every shore of the world. They drift softly into your lungs, settling into warm spaces for only a moment before moving onward. Some of these atoms once floated in the ancient oceans. Some wandered through forests that no longer exist. And for a moment, everything feels still. The oxygen entering your body tonight was shaped inside stars long before Earth had even formed. Each atom slips into your bloodstream like a gentle visitor, carried by your pulse to every corner of your body. As you exhale, you release carbon atoms that have traveled with you all day, carrying stories of your thoughts, your movement, your quiet moments of calm. These drifting atoms will scatter across the world within months, joining winds, clouds, leaves, and the breath of strangers you'll never meet. Nitrogen glides through your lungs without asking anything of you, its steady presence helping your body remain balanced. Carbon dioxide, carried out on each exhale, becomes nourishment for plants, which will one day return oxygen to you again. Every breath is a soft exchange, a quiet collaboration between you and the world. Some atoms leaving your body tonight may return to you decades from now, after circling the earth many times. One gentle inhale can hold atoms once breathed by ancient creatures, by mountains, by oceans. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these drifting particles complete their quiet cycle through you, they guide you toward the next tiny wonder, the silent strength held within a single carbon atom. Some atoms speak loudly through light and color, but carbon is different. It prefers quiet work, shaping the world with a softness that goes unnoticed unless you pause long enough to feel its presence. Inside you, carbon forms the gentle framework of your cells, the curves of your DNA, and the steady rhythms that keep your body alive. And for a moment, everything feels still. Carbon can bond in 4 directions, reaching out like open hands ready to form connection. This simple ability allows it to build chains, rings, and delicate lattices that become the structure of life itself. Diamonds and graphite, though so different, begin with the same carbon atoms arranged in different quiet patterns. One becomes the hardest gem, the other a soft black streak. The difference is only in the way carbon decides to hold hands. Every sugar molecule your body uses for energy is held together by carbon's calm geometry. The hormones that guide your emotions rely on its gentle framework. Even the scent of rain, the color of leaves, and the softness of breath all hold carbon in their design. Some carbon atoms drift through the atmosphere for centuries before joining a living being. Others cycle through plants, animals, soil, and air, completing long, graceful journeys through time. And for a moment, everything feels still. One tiny carbon arrangement inside you helps store memories. Another shapes the proteins that let your muscles relax. Another becomes part of the warmth rising from your skin. As these quiet builders rest within you, they lead you toward the next layer of calm, the soft minerals guiding your heartbeat and easing your breath. Inside your body, countless tiny minerals drift, with a purpose so gentle you hardly feel their presence. Yet without them, your heartbeat would falter, your breath would tighten, and your thoughts would lose their calm rhythm. These ions move through you like quiet caretakers, responding to every small need with steady, silent precision. And for a moment, everything feels still. Calcium signals each heartbeat like a soft tap at the door of your heart. Sodium and potassium trade places in a calm exchange, guiding the electricity of your thoughts. Magnesium rests in your muscles, easing tension the way a warm hand soothes a tired shoulder. Iron carries oxygen gently through your blood, offering your cells the breath they cannot take on their own. Zinc shapes healing. Copper supports your breath. Phosphorus glows inside your DNA. Iodine keeps your inner rhythm balanced. Selenium protects your cells from stress, like a quiet shield held in the background. These tiny minerals drift through pathways older than memory, moving exactly where they're needed without hesitation. Their choreography is flawless, a slow, silent dance unfolding beneath your skin. Imagine them flowing through you now, smooth currents of glowing particles settling tension, brightening energy, guiding your body back toward balance. They are not loud healers. They are subtle ones, choosing calm over force, steadiness over urgency. One mineral inside you glows faintly in the dark, a quiet reminder that even your smallest parts carry their own soft light. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these minerals continue their delicate work, they lead you deeper into yourself, toward the drifting chemistry of dreams waiting just beyond the edge of sleep. When you fall asleep and your body grows quiet, a different kind of world begins to unfold inside you. Tiny shifts in atoms and molecules start weaving the threads of your dreams, shaping stories out of silence, color out of memory, and movement out of thought. These changes are gentle, almost shy, taking place in the soft corners of your mind where the night settles first. And for a moment, everything feels still. A subtle spark ignites when ions drift into new patterns, opening the doorway to dream. Melatonin settles into its receptors, dimming the inner lights one by one. Your brain waves slow into long floating curves, then sharpens softly as REM sleep begins. Neurons glow with faint pulses, stitching together fragments of feeling and memory. The oxygen in your blood shifts its pace, fueling a mind that is resting yet creating. Inside this quiet world, images rise from small chemical movements. Tiny proteins fold and unfold, shaping the transitions between scenes. Water within your brain stabilizes each signal, keeping the dream from unraveling too quickly. Memories are replayed, rearranged, and softened, becoming gentler than they were during the day. One delicate shift in these molecules decides the direction of a dream. Whether you wander through an old memory or drift into an entirely new landscape made of colors and shapes that have never existed before. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these hidden processes continue their slow, luminous dance, they guide you deeper into the night's embrace, toward the next quiet wonder, the cosmic journey of the very atoms that shape your sleeping mind. Some atoms inside you began their journey long before Earth was even born. They drifted through space for billions of years, carried by starlight, gravity, and the quiet expansion of the universe. These tiny travelers have seen darkness deeper than any night, and brightness stronger than any sunbeam you will ever feel. And for a moment, everything feels still. Hydrogen, the simplest traveler, formed minutes after the universe began, drifting freely through endless dark seas. Helium followed, glowing faintly within the first stars. Carbon emerged inside ancient giants, carried outward when those stars breathed their last. Oxygen formed in even larger suns, spreading slowly across galaxies. Iron was forged in collapsing stellar cores. Gold and other rare metals came from the merging of neutron stars, scattered through the cosmos in shimmering clouds. Some atoms wandered from one galaxy to another, crossing distances so vast they cannot be measured in ordinary ways. Others settled briefly inside. Comets, icy worlds, or drifting cosmic dust before finding their way into future planets. A few of the atoms now resting in your breath once floated in the quiet heart of the Milky Way, long before your ancestors walked the Earth. Imagine these cosmic travelers settling softly inside you now, bringing with them the memory of every place they've ever been. Their journey is written into your very being. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these ancient atoms come to rest within you, they lead you gently toward another hidden truth. The delicate patterns they form, shaping everything from stars above to the quiet structures within your body. Every atom follows a quiet rhythm, a pattern so gentle and consistent that it shapes the entire world without ever needing to be seen. These patterns unfold like soft geometry written in the dark, guiding electrons into shells, arranging bonds into delicate angles, and forming the structures that give matter its familiar touch. And for a moment, everything feels still. Atoms prefer symmetry. They settle into shapes that feel balanced, the way your breath finds its own even rhythm when you begin to relax. Electrons drift into subtle layers around the nucleus, choosing calm, stable positions that create the foundation of everything solid, liquid, or glowing around you. These invisible structures echo through nature. Snowflakes form repeating shapes because water molecules align in crystalline patterns. Crystals grow as atoms repeat themselves over and over, building towers of order from the smallest possible scale. Even your DNA coils into a spiral shaped by the preferences of atoms, a pattern that holds the blueprint of your life. Proteins fold because atoms prefer certain angles. Rocks harden because their atoms lock into strong lattices. The softness of your skin, the strength of a leaf, the shimmer of light on glass, all of them bloom from atomic choreography. Inside your body, quiet oscillations guide your heartbeat, your thoughts, even the timing of your dreams. Each movement is shaped by the subtle dance of atoms falling into place. One pattern inside you has existed since before the sun formed, carried forward through countless transformations. And for a moment, everything feels still. As you drift with these patterns, they carry you toward the next gentle truth. the tiny atomic shifts that shape every emotion you've ever felt. Every feeling you've ever had begins with a tiny shift inside an atom. A slight movement here, a quiet bond there, and suddenly your inner world changes. Emotions may seem large and overwhelming at times, but their roots are delicate, built from molecules so small they drift like whispers through the spaces within you. And for a moment, everything feels still. Serotonin rests on a gentle carbon ring, lifting your mood with the softest touch. Dopamine begins with a single nitrogen atom, offering motivation and warmth. Oxytocin forms from tiny peptide bonds, weaving connection into your heart with a tenderness you can feel but never see. Stress fades when cortisol breaks apart into calmer pieces, its sharp edges dissolving quietly inside your cells. Even the softest sigh comes from small molecular decisions. Tiny ions guide the calm that spreads when you breathe deeply. Enzymes, shaped by precise atomic patterns, lower the noise inside your mind. A slight shift in GABA brings ease to your thoughts, letting them slow into gentle currents. Memories strengthen through delicate atomic changes at the edges of your neurons. Laughter rises from sudden signals carried by molecules drifting faster than thought. Healing begins with atoms reorganizing themselves into new structure, choosing balance over tension. One tiny molecule tonight may decide whether you feel anxious or peaceful, heavy or light, restless or ready to drift. And for a moment, everything feels still. As you follow these emotional atoms through their quiet pathways, they guide you toward the final descent of this chapter, the soft glow of the last secrets drifting into stillness. As the microscopic world settles around you, the final secrets of these tiny travelers drift forward like soft starlight. Each one arrives gently, offering a last whisper before the night grows deeper. Atoms hum quietly inside everything, their soft vibrations shaping the stillness you feel. They never stop moving, yet their motion carries a peace that fills every corner of your breath. And for a moment, everything feels still. Atoms do not age the way living things do. They simply continue, shifting from one form to another, carrying memories of stars, oceans, clouds, and creatures long gone. Some atoms in your body tonight once glowed in the heart of ancient suns. Others drifted through space for ages before settling into the life you now inhabit. Their stories are older than mountains. Every pattern you see, the curve of a leaf, the shimmer of metal, the softness of fabric, comes from the quiet decisions atoms make as they settle into place. Warmth spreads through your room because atoms move a little faster. Coolness arrives when they slow. Even your dreams are shaped by the atoms guiding the chemistry of sleep. Some atoms drift through your breath and return moments later, belonging to you only briefly. Others stay with you for years, woven into bone and memory. All of them contribute to the stillness gathering inside you now. One final truth rests beneath it all. Atoms remain with you quietly, offering strength, warmth, motion, and calm without ever needing to be seen. And for a moment, everything feels still. As these last secrets fade softly into the night, they guide you toward the next chapter, where rest becomes a gentle awakening inside every cell. As daylight fades, something small and quiet begins to stir inside you. A gentle molecule, shaped by darkness and guided by rhythm, starts to whisper to your body that it is time to rest. This soft messenger is melatonin, Not a command, not a force, but a calming presence that settles into your bloodstream like the first cool breeze of night. And for a moment, everything feels still. Melatonin doesn't rush. It rises slowly, the way shadows lengthen across a quiet room. It moves through your brain, touching receptors that dim the noise of the day, lowering the brightness of thought, and smoothing the edges of everything that felt sharp. Each connection it makes is a gentle hand placed on your mind, telling it that nothing more is required of you right now. As this molecule drifts deeper, your heartbeat softens, your muscles loosen, and your breath lengthens without effort. The world narrows to a single peaceful rhythm. Even your temperature begins to fall slightly, giving your body permission to exhale in a way it couldn't before. Imagine melatonin as a small lantern glowing inside you, lighting the path toward sleep with warm, amber calmness. It doesn't push you forward. It guides you step by gentle step into a softer landscape where thoughts float more slowly and silence feels welcoming. One tiny shift in this molecule can decide when your dreams begin. And for a moment, everything feels still. As melatonin settles into its nightly rhythm, it leads you naturally toward the next quiet transformation, the subtle cooling of your body as it prepares for deeper rest. As night gathers around you, your body performs a quiet ritual you rarely notice. Deep beneath your skin, warmth begins to drift outward, releasing itself into the cool air the way a sigh escapes tired lips. This soft cooling is not a loss, but an invitation, a gentle signal that your body is ready to slip into a deeper rhythm. And for a moment, everything feels still. Your blood vessels widen slightly, allowing heat to move toward your hands, your feet, your face. It spreads like a faint glow moving through still water, then slowly dissolves into the night. As this happens, your inner temperature drops by just enough to ease your body into rest. Muscles loosen, thoughts settle, breathing grows quieter, as though each inhale carries a small piece of the dark inside it. Imagine this cooling as a feather-light blanket of air brushing over you, lifting the leftover warmth of the day from your skin. This shift is delicate. It doesn't rush or demand anything. It simply guides you downward, signaling your brain that it is safe to let go, safe to drift. Inside your cells, energy slows. Tiny molecular fires dim their glow, saving their strength for tomorrow. Even your heart responds, beating with a softer, more patient rhythm. One small drop in temperature decides when your body slips from wakefulness into dreams. And for a moment, everything feels still. As this gentle cooling continues, it prepares the way for another comfort. The warm, quiet reassurance of blankets and how they calm your skin when the night grows deep. When you pull a blanket over your body, something quiet and remarkable happens. The world outside seems to fade just a little, and a soft calm begins to settle along your skin. This comfort, it isn't only emotional, it's written in the tiny signals drifting through the atoms beneath your fingertips. And for a moment, everything feels still. Your skin holds delicate receptors that constantly listen to the air around you. When they feel coolness or motion, they stay alert. But the moment a blanket rests against you, those signals soften. The weight, even the slightest one, tells your nervous system that you are safe, sheltered, and held. Warmth gathers gently between your skin and the fabric, forming a small cocoon where your body can finally loosen its grip on the day. Imagine each fiber of the blanket pressing with just enough pressure to quiet the restless messages traveling toward your mind. Electrons in your nerves slow their pace, sending calmer waves inward. Muscles respond almost immediately, releasing tension you didn't know you were carrying. The warmth rising beneath the blanket becomes a soft glow, easing you deeper into stillness. This simple contact lowers the activity of the tiny sensors responsible for alertness. With fewer signals to interpret, your brain drifts into a quieter landscape. Your breath deepens. Your thoughts lose their sharp edges. A gentle heaviness spreads through your body, letting you sink into rest. One small touch of warmth can silence a world of noise, and for a moment, everything feels still. As this comfort settles around you, it leads you naturally into the next quiet shift. The inner harmony your ions create when the night begins to reshape your body from within. When the night settles over you, your body begins a delicate reset that happens far beneath awareness. Tiny ions drift across the membranes of your cells, moving in patterns older than language, older even than the earliest forms of life. These subtle shifts help your mind quiet, your heartbeat steady, and your thoughts soften into gentler shapes. And for a moment, everything feels still. Potassium rises inside your neurons, opening the door to relaxation. Sodium slips outward, allowing electrical signals to slow into long, peaceful waves. This quiet exchange acts like a lullaby for your nervous system, not sung in sound, but in the soft movement of charged particles gliding from one place to another. Each shift lowers tension, each adjustment whispers calm. Imagine these ions drifting the way tiny lanterns float along a dark river. Their light is faint, almost imperceptible, yet their harmony guides the entire landscape of your body. Muscles respond to their balance, relaxing in gentle cascades. Your breath becomes smoother. Your mind loses its hurried edges and begins to fall into rhythm with the night. Inside every neuron, the ionic reset creates space for thoughts to fade, for rest to deepen, for dreams to begin forming in quiet corners of the mind. Even the warmth of your skin changes subtly as these particles find their equilibrium. One tiny adjustment in an ion's position can decide whether your thoughts race or dissolve into stillness. And for a moment, everything feels still. As this balance deepens, it prepares you for the next soft descent, the gentle dimming of your brain's internal lights as energy settles into night mode. As sleep draws nearer, your brain begins a quiet transformation. The energy that kept your thoughts bright throughout the day starts to soften, dimming the inner glow that fuels every idea, memory, and moment of focus. This isn't a shutdown. It's more like a room where the lights are gently lowered until only a soft, warm hue remains. And for a moment, everything feels still. Neurons that fired rapidly during waking hours begin spacing out their signals. The bursts of activity grow slower, smoother, more fluid. ATP, the tiny molecule that powers your brain, shifts into preservation mode, using only what is needed to maintain calm and repair. Blood flow adjusts, delivering steady oxygen in a quieter rhythm. Imagine your brain as a city at night. Streets that buzzed with motion now empty slowly. Lights fade in windows. The hum of activity lowers to a gentle murmur. Only the essential pathways remain softly lit, guiding the subtle processes that care for your memories and restore your balance. As your brain dims its energy, thoughts lose their weight. They float, drifting gently the way dust swirls through a sunbeam before settling. This low-energy state allows your mind to let go, to release the heaviness of the day, and to welcome the softness of dreams waiting just beyond awareness. Tiny chemical shifts support this quieting. Glutamate signals fade. GABA spreads its calm. Even your temperature within the skull lowers slightly, creating the perfect environment for stillness. One small decrease in energy is enough to invite sleep to take hold, and for a moment, everything feels still. As this dimming deepens, your breath becomes the next guide, easing your body into an even quieter rhythm. When you exhale slowly, something deep within you begins to settle. The breath falls out of your lungs like a gentle tide, pulling away from the shore, taking with it the tension that gathered quietly throughout the day. This soft release isn't just a feeling, it's an atomic shift, a delicate chemistry that changes the entire rhythm of your body. And for a moment, everything feels still. As carbon dioxide leaves your lungs, your blood becomes slightly more alkaline, sending a calm signal through your nervous system. Neurons respond by easing their electrical pace, muscles soften, the heart settles into a quieter beat. Even the temperature of your breath cools as it drifts outward, carrying warmth from deep within your chest. Imagine your atoms adjusting to this slow exhale like small lanterns dimming their glow in perfect harmony. Oxygen flows more gently through your bloodstream, finding its way to the places that need it most. The ions guiding your heart and brain shift into smoother waves, making space for a deeper calm. Your diaphragm relaxes, spreading a feeling of openness across your chest. The air you release carries tiny molecules that held the shape of your thoughts, your movements, your emotions. Each exhale becomes an invisible clearing, a soft letting go written in chemistry. When breath slows, time slows with it. Your inner world becomes quieter, your outer world softer. A single long exhale can reset an entire cascade of signals inside you, guiding your atoms toward stillness. And for a moment, everything feels still. As this calm deepens, your body prepares for another gentle mystery, the quiet glow of neurons communicating while you sleep. As sleep begins to wrap itself around you, the brain does not fall silent. It simply lowers its voice. Neurons that once sparked brightly in the daylight now whisper to one another in soft electrical pulses, exchanging signals that drift through the night like faint ripples across still water. These gentle communications guide your memories, your emotions, and your dreams. And for a moment, everything feels still. Each neuron sends its message through a delicate combination of ions and electricity. The pulses are slower now, more rhythmic, like lanterns blinking softly along a quiet path. Some signals carry the impressions of the day, the small moments, the forgotten thoughts, the emotions left unfinished. Others strengthen the memories your mind wants to keep, weaving them into stable patterns so they can rest without fading. Imagine these neural whispers as tiny sparks glowing in a vast landscape, lighting only what needs attention. The rest remains peaceful, untouched, drifting in darkness. As these pulses move, your brain sorts through experiences, clearing away what is no longer needed and storing what holds meaning. Even dreams rise from this quiet exchange. A faint pattern might trigger a memory might shift into an image may float into a scene, all of it shaped by these small whispering sparks. Your heart follows this rhythm, your breath follows it too, and slowly your entire body adapts to this subtle conversation taking place inside your skull. One soft pulse tonight may decide a dream, a mood, or a memory, and for a moment, everything feels still. As these whispers drift on, they guide you toward the next gentle wonder, the slow restorative chemistry that heals you while you sleep. While you sleep, your cells begin a quiet work they cannot perform during the brightness of the day. The moment your mind drifts into deeper rest, tiny mechanisms inside each cell awaken with calm precision. They repair, rebuild, and renew, creating a softness within you that you will only feel when you wake. And for a moment, everything feels still. Proteins that became worn or folded incorrectly are gently reshaped, like fabric being smoothed by a careful hand. Damaged molecules are removed in silence, carried away through pathways that open only in the peaceful hours of night. Mitochondria, the tiny engines of your cells, slow their fire, conserving energy while preparing to spark brightly again in the morning. Imagine these processes as quiet lanterns lighting different corners of your body. One glows over your muscles, repairing tiny tears. Another brightens your immune cells, guiding them as they check for anything that needs healing. A soft, golden light settles around your brain as waste products dissolve and clear away, leaving space for clarity and calm. Hormones rise and fall in perfect balance, helping tissues recover from strain. DNA is inspected for errors, gently corrected in ways you'll never notice. Even the water inside your cells shifts into smoother arrangements, supporting every tiny repair. All of this happens without noise, without effort on your part. Your body knows how to mend itself, how to ease tension, how to find balance again, all through quiet chemistry. One night of deep sleep can renew thousands of cells, and for a moment, everything feels still. As this inner restoration continues, your body prepares for the next soft mystery, the way your muscles surrender completely when sleep grows deepest. As you drift deeper into sleep, your muscles begin a soft unraveling that feels almost like sinking into warm sand. Fibers that held you upright all day slowly loosen, releasing the tension they kept hidden beneath your movements. This release is delicate, unfolding through quiet chemical shifts that soothe your entire body. And for a moment, everything feels still. Calcium ions retreat from muscle fibers, signaling them to let go. Actin and myosin, the tiny threads that pull your muscles tight, slide apart, easing the strain they carried without complaint. The warmth inside your limbs settles downward, creating a heaviness that feels comforting rather than burdensome. Imagine each muscle relaxing one layer at a time. First, the surface softens, then the deeper fibers loosen, then the core releases completely. Your shoulders sink, your legs drift into stillness. Even the tiny muscles around your eyes fall quiet, smoothing into a peaceful rest. Blood flow shifts gently through relaxed tissue, carrying warmth outward and calm inward. Your breath deepens in response, filling the spaces that tension once occupied. This unwinding is not forced. It is simply allowed, unfolding naturally when the night grows deep enough. As your muscles let go, they send fewer signals to your brain. With less information to process, your thoughts grow lighter, quieter, more distant. The world around you fades into a soft blur. One subtle release in a single muscle can ripple through your entire body, guiding you deeper into rest. And for a moment, everything feels still. As this unraveling completes its gentle descent, It prepares you for the deepest layer of the night, the soft silence that holds your entire being while you sleep. When the night reaches its quietest point, a profound stillness begins to wrap itself around you. Your muscles have softened, your breath has slowed, and your mind has slipped beneath the surface of thought. What remains is a gentle silence, not empty, but full of calm, like a warm darkness that holds your entire body in its quiet hands. And for a moment, everything feels still. Every system within you settles into harmony. Your heartbeat lowers into a steady, unhurried rhythm. Your breath flows in long, smooth waves. Neurons whisper only what they must, conserving their energy for the dreams that drift at the edge of awareness. Even the tiny motions of your atoms continue in softer patterns, moving just enough to sustain life without disturbing its peace. Imagine your body resting in this silence, the way a leaf floats on still water. No pressure, no effort, just gentle support. The world outside fades into shadow, and the world inside narrows to a single sensation: ease. A deep, enveloping ease that spreads through your limbs, your chest, your jaw, your fingertips. Your cells continue their quiet restoration, but everything feels slower, deeper, more distant. This is the silence that sleep was made for, a silence that doesn't ask anything of you, doesn't rush you, doesn't pull you forward. It simply holds you. One soft breath in this silence can feel like a small eternity, and for a moment, everything feels still. As this silence settles completely, it guides you toward the next chapter, where the boundary between the cosmos and the self becomes softer.